Hey guys, Dave here. We're back with some locals gameplay. A lot of you wanted to see this Alter S Omnimon slot deck in action. We got game one here versus Sun and Moon as he goes for mental training there and misses. I'm going second in this one. Yeah, he's only been playing for about 2 months, so be a bit kind to him in the comments, guys. Sun and Moon quite a difficult deck to play. I'll start off here with the Nokia and an Evo in the back, basically the best terminal play you can get. Get a nice double add here with another Searcher Agu and the War Grey that warps. Basically the ideal turn one. Memory set, Rook in the back. You played out the Gabu, so you've got Mega Knight fodder. He raises Lunamon here, pops his training to go into not Mirage, just normal Gao, and we both draw one. So Sun and Moon, bit interesting for Omnimon. If you're not playing a lot of CS Omni or Ultra Ace, not Ultra Ace, Ace, it can be difficult because they have the deletion protection now, the new CS Diana, like level 3 and level 4, level 5, which is quite good to protect them. And obviously it can go fast and they can play whatever top end they want. So they can play stuff like Hexablow, bottom your Tamers, play Mirage Gal, stuff you add into hands, stuff like that. As he goes into Wank here, plays out Luna, gets a Luna Search, goes into Apollo and does a Blitz here. So it's 2 checks, but we get the Tamer on the first one. Just get to play that out and draw 1. And then second check here is the Greymon. My opponent here was a bit confused because it says other blue level 3. On Hwank, and he was wondering if it had to be blue itself. Obviously, it doesn't. It just means you can't tuck itself under. So he asks if he can do it, and I'm like, sure, it's a locals game, why not? So he gets to restand his Apollo here. So I start on 3, just checking if I drew for turn or not. I didn't. We'll raise, go into Agu here. I'm sort of thinking here what to do. I need to out the Apollo because it's got nothing in the back, and I go out the Apollo. I'm in a pretty good spot. But I think I'm debating here whether to just warp for 6 or to do Melga and warp and leave with 2 6s on the board because we don't have end of turn DNA. So we're sort of thinking for a couple of seconds here. We decided we're going to search for Nokia first because it doesn't have protection, which is what I had to ask because I knew he had a blue purple in source, didn't know if it was a protection one or not. So get a nice double add off the Agu and we're looking and thinking, So my deck does play a lot of hard players, so we're going to go for that now. We're going to play 8 for the Melga. Going to warp one of these Agus into the War Grey, and the War Grey is going to delete his lowest DP, which is obviously the only thing on the board is Apollo. We're going back 2, past a 3. And now I'm staring at my opponent with an empty board, and I've got 3 swings next turn, and a potential for DNA, which is basically lethal represented, which is always nice to look at. My opponent here just shows a bit of damage on his oversleeve, and I'm like, it's fine, it's locals, don't worry about it. Get past a 3, unsuspend Hatch. And I'm sort of looking here going, I might be able to just kill. So I'll swing Agu. Agu lives, which I wasn't surprised at. Forget to draw for Koromon, but I do catch it in a moment. Swing the Melga. It lives. We'll swing the War Grey. This is where I realise I didn't draw for Koromon. Get my check in. And we basically just have game here because it's Omnimon. So we go into Ace. We only die here to a 16. So swing on Suspend Trash 1. There's an Invisimon, so we know he's on that now. And I just have to tell my opponent here it's a trash and then a check. Then we swing for game, and we take down game 1. Game 2 now, guys. I'm going first on Omnimon. Opponent was telling me he doesn't have access to all the cards. He's missing like Wisteria Memory Boost and stuff. That's why he's got some interesting cards like Mental Training in there, and obviously he missed on that in game 1. So we keep the opener. It's pretty good. There's rookies. I mean, it's the Gabu and there's a Time Mat, I believe, which is basically the ideal turn 1 play. As we either into Gabu, we drew a Nokia, and obviously you're never going to pass up Nokia into Gabu. Top 3 here, and we're looking, there's 2 CS options and a Omni option. We decided to take both of the CS options using one as Omni and Text and one as CS. Always good to have the Agu. You don't want to get grinded out by Sun and Moon. It can go long. It's got a lot of resources, especially with stuff like Scramble, playing back Lunamon. You can even bounce your own Lunamon, start a main to game 2 and use the Scramble as a boost and stuff like that. As he plays his Tamer down here. And we're both memory set, so he decides to play a Searcher. Has the bottom deck 2 of his one-offs here, Mirage and Paladin. Obviously, Mirage pretty good against me, and obviously Paladin, great. Means I can't attack if I'm on less than 3 memory, and even if I'm on 3 memory, if I attack, I can't really do anything else. So we're going to knock his starter main here, play the Agu, only 1 hit, and we'll bottom deck 2 Mega Knight and a Gabu. Mega Knight, a lot of people really don't like Mega Knight when it banned. I don't think it's the problem card of the deck. I really believe Alter S is. You'll see, like, in some of the games in this locals, Alter S will just win you games. We'll do a warp here and pop the Luna. And pass to our opponent on 3 with 2/6 on board. Pretty good state to be in. I mean, I'm threatening lethal next turn, so my opponent has to deal with me here, as he does a Lekker's Search here, has to get rid of an Invisi, but he gets a double add, and they're pretty good cards. New Diana's actually really good. Into Omni, stripping the sources. I believe bottom decking 1, which is pretty strong. Obviously, when I don't have Mega Knight, he's going to do the Sun and Moon stuff here, go down, go up. Top 3, another double add, but he gets rid of his Ancient Guru, which is, again, decent into the deck. Always burns a security effectively, because unless you bounce a Searcher. But yeah, not bad. And obviously he can add stuff to hand using stuff like Lunamon Searcher, or obviously bouncing itself to basically always deal damage, which is pretty strong. My opponent's sort of sitting here now, and I remember I have these counters, so I'll put them on to make it a bit easier for you guys to track how much DP stuff's gaining. Because the Nokia and obviously inherits. It's going to go into Cressamon and freeze Wargrey. And my opponent's just thinking now, because he knows he can't leave both of these on board, and it's effectively what he wanted to do. And I believe he goes into Diana here, he does. So he's going to strip all the sources, and he's going to bottom net my Melga. And my Wargrey's going to lose a K because of the inherits. So I'll start my turn here. Just checking if I drew. I didn't draw for turn, so I'll do it now. My opponent just asking me something that I can't remember. Look in the drop here to see if I've got anything really worth playing out. And I'm going to stay in the back with this Gabu. And I'm really looking at DGO here, but it feels a bit weak to DGO into a memory cell and pass on 1. So I think for a bit, I didn't have the rookie if I remember rightly, so I didn't want to knock you. Like, I couldn't knock you or anything out, so I'm sort of sitting here going, I'll hard play the Agu to not add anything off the Nokia, so I can do a warp just to clear this Dynamon. Even though it's costly for 11. I end a turn DNA, and I go into my 1 of CS Omni here. And this is where CS Omni sort of shines, is when you don't have the end of turn attack tamer, and you just need to clear stuff out, and it's going to get an extra check in, effectively. It's going to deal 2 damage. It's going to swing it on suspend, and we're going to trash 1. My opponent accidentally bottom decking his whole stack here, so we just sort that out. It was first game of the day for both of us, so stuff like that does sort of happen. So I'm going to swing 16k, trash 1 and check 1. Trash an Examon, which is really good, because again, Examon really good into Omnimon. I mean, if you're not playing Ace, it does just hose a lot of the Omnimon boards. So you get to pop the Mega Knight, pop a Tamer, swing through something, it's 2 checks. I mean, against Examon you have decode, partition stuff, which is kind of crazy. And my opponent here plays the Sio, and then asks if my Omnimon's blocker, and I go, it is. And he goes, oh, I didn't know that, can I take it back? And I'm like, sure, it's locals, like, I don't want to be like, no, you can't take it back, I want to win. Like, I want people to have the most enjoyable experience and play the best games. You know, if he was at a regional, might say something different, but I'm usually pretty good at giving people take backs at regionals, as he just hard slams Invisi for 11. He's got DG2 and pop my War, great. And obviously flips the security over, and it is another tamer and top security. Very fortunate in these games to have this. Start my turn here, and I'm sort of sitting going, I can pop the Invisi, but it's going to cost me a lot. My opponent forgot to Evo in the back, and he's like, I'll just say do it. Like, why not? It's one of the habits you need to get into. I mean, I've been playing for nearly 2 years now, maybe over 2 years, and it's like, even then, sometimes I look down and go, oh, I forgot to Evo in the back, and it's a bit annoying. I just get a check in here, and I die, which is fine. Just want to DGO, if I remember rightly. Yeah, this card really good. I revealed 2 Alter S's, but I already have 1 in hand. And I'm like, I actually need the Melga so that I can grab back the Wargrey and do a war. And my opponent just checking how many I've gone through here. And he's like, oh, you didn't go into Alter S early, it was normal Omni? And I'm like, yeah. So I'm passing my opponent on 3, but effectively 4 because he's got Corona on in the back. And this Invisi's scary, like, it can't go to secure unless he toxic antibody or anything under it, or like dips a force and stack with Hank or something. Obviously, it's not got Hank under it. But Invisimon just scary against Omni. I love this card. It's really creative design. They really use the Digimon design space really well with it. As he reveals all three of the Lunamon line there. And it's sort of rough because he wanted to take Cressamon, but I think he thinks, oh, I can gamble on Lekis by going back down and stuff. And I think he decides to do that instead, if I remember rightly. But yeah, I really enjoy playing this Omnimon deck. I try not to play it too much at locals because it is quite annoying for new players to play against because it's a really high power deck. It's fast. It's got a lot of unfair things about it, especially stuff like Mega Knight. Like new players don't know how to play around Mega Knight, don't know how to play around Omni Ace, which is no shade to them. Obviously, you're new at the game, but it can feel really infuriating to lose your whole board because you tried to play your game right. And even veteran players, like so many players, don't play around like the evade on BT23 Melga and stuff like that. So my opponent here just sort of looking and seeing what he can get. He's going to scramble, I believe, into Wank, and then realise he doesn't have a level 3 in source. But he's like, it's fine, I'll just play with it anyway. And he's just wondering now what he wants to end on. And he decides he's going to swing the Invisi anyway and give me the Tamer, which I think's probably incorrect. Because I get to add back my Wargrey here. But also it's kind of rough because doing 5 checks in a turn isn't as easy anymore with the Sun and Moon deck since they banned the blue Tamer. He goes into Hexblower, which is obviously really annoying. Bottom deck's on Nokia. I don't know if Nokia is better to bottom deck than the Matt and Tai here. Because you just simply add back both hard play pieces. Maybe that's a mistake. I forgot to draw for turn here, but I will draw for Gabu because I didn't want to double draw effectively. Didn't want to accidentally draw twice. We did have the DGO anyway. And I decided to draw off this, and I drew the Nokia, and I'm thinking, well, if I'd drawn for turn, I could have played Nokia out here. Which is whatever, it doesn't matter too much. But I'm looking at my opponent's board, and he's got 2 level 6s, and I'm thinking, well, Ultra S eats these alive. Like, Ultra S just so good against these. Also spam loads of multiple of the same level, 6s, 5s, whatever it be. So I'm here, and I'm thinking, well, I pay for 8, I'm getting 4 back. Specifically a 4 cost play, which will pass at 1, which is free because of memory serve, but that's fine. My friend just asking why it's reduced, and I'm like, yeah, I accidentally paid 11, but it's actually 8. Freeze the Tamer, which is quite important, because Sun and Moon can do loads of funky stuff with the Tamer, especially with the Scramble in the back. I tap both Tamers here, because why not? It's actually like a tech against Dexteruga. You can tap them and even not gain any memory. So just check if they had any protection or anything. They don't, so I'm like, well, I'll go into Alter S, pop both. And I can't attack, so my opponent just gets past at 3, and he's going to scramble here. Just having a look to see what he wants. Obviously, the Luna's probably the play out, but it's whether he wants Crusher on top, maybe he wants Hexablow back and try and bottom deck another Tamer. Stuff like that. Alter S, like, with no attack, feels a little weak. Usually you want to do the end of turn swing, put the thing in security, play 2 6s out, and you're sort of sitting with something kind of cool. So he's going to go Crusher on top, and he's going to play Lunamon out. Pretty standard here. And he's going to try and spill this stack up again. Obviously, he sort of has to clear this Alter S, because I will just OTK next turn, or at least has to do something to prevent me from swinging this Alter S. But has the tools, obviously, he's just had the Crushermon back. As we're both drawn, I have exactly 8, I believe, in hand, so he gains 1. Yeah, this Galmon's just crazy. Like, Galgamon's actually insane in this deck. Really did give it the buff it needed from EX5 to BT16. So yeah, Sun and Moon's sort of sitting here and thinking, I don't really know what to do. Something we realise in a Mo is he doesn't Evo in the back again, which does cost him a little bit, because it was an extra draw. Probably could have drew that Crushermon, played for cheaper, etc. Debating on whether he adds Hexablow or Crusher here. He decides that's Hexablow again. Again, a really annoying card for my deck. You can deal with it pretty well now because there's no real protection, but back in the day it was like the most annoying card ever. You had no real way of clearing it without passing your opponent like 7 memory. You can do it a bit cheaper now with stuff like Nokia and that, which is quite beneficial. My opponent's going to do the Sun and Moon, go down. from the 3 to the 4 and then go up into a 5. And he will just freeze the Omnimon here. I did forget to have his tamer, but we catch it in a Mo. And I forget to unsuspend my tamers, but we'll catch it in a Mo again. So we Evo in the back and draw. And I'm sort of sitting here going, he's forgot to Evo in the back, which is obviously beneficial to me. He decides he doesn't want the take back this time. I was like, that's fine. I'll respect that. And we're just going to go for a bit of value here. We're going Gabu. And this is why Mega Knight's actually busted, is it lets you play lower rookie counts because they are 4 rookies that have upside. So I decided to add Agu, and then I'm debating the Omnimon target. End of turn attack tamer might have been correct here, but I sort of greed a bit and grabbed the other Mega Knight in the end. Because I think it's maybe the tamer's probably a bit too slow at this point. Then I just pass by hard playing another Gabumon, doing a top 3, and seeing what we get. There was some warp angles here, but the issue I have with the warp angles is I'm still passing my opponent like 4. Actually, I think I was missing Greymon, if I remember rightly, for a warp. Like, I think I had a Nokia Greymon. Maybe I'll grab it here. But yeah, got a couple of locals games for you. It is a 3-rounder, so we'll have 2 more after this. Got some interesting matchups, surely, and I'm hoping it will showcase sort of the deck from the profile. Because I know a lot of people were interested in how the deck plays against other matchups that aren't Hoodie, alright, because Hoodie's not a favourite matchup at all. I think Hoodie's like pretty solid into Omni is pretty solid into Hoodie. It has a lot of stuff that Hoodie just doesn't like. Like, it's got fast OTK potential, doesn't care about options, can freeze tamers, can wipe boards clean, and then just doesn't care. So it doesn't matter if the Hoodie player's like, well, I've set up this white board. It's like, well, I'm just going to eat it all alive and then swing for game. And the Hoodie player's sitting there going, well, I can activate this option, but it doesn't actually do anything. If I block, I play out of 4, but again, it doesn't really do anything, and the only player just kills me, right? Like, Mega Knight's insane. And you have, like, you don't care about passing, like, a Hoodie player 8 memory if you've got Ace and Mega Knight on the board, because it's like, well, they're never going to kill you. Like, they might be able to build a nice board up, but then you just raise and kill them again, right? So yeah, Sun and Moon looking here, trying to out this board a bit because, he might just die to Gabu's here, the way it's going. He does have Hexablow, as we know. It's probably going to be the way to stall this. He's going to go into Crest for 1 and freeze the Alter S again, which, is a solid way of dealing with Alter S. Like, if it can't swing, it can't play stuff out. I can't really OTK. And he's just checking sources here for Apollo. So he's going to go into Apollo for 3 and then decide to attack immediately. First check to 12k, but it does have jamming because it's not getting any DP here, so we can't pop Alter S, we'll just pop a Gabu. And it's 2 more checks, Greymon and a Wargrey here, which is beneficial to me. They're in the trash, which means I can grab them back. He's going to do Tamer stuff here, go down. And I believe he just goes into Hexablow. Yeah, it's still suspended, but it's going to strip all the sources, and he's going to bottom deck one of my Tamers. It's annoying for me, like getting past to 2 rather than getting past to, effectively losing 2 memory. It's pretty bad. I have got a frozen, I believe, Alter S still on the board. Well, no, Alter S is not frozen, but it just doesn't do anything, if I remember rightly. And this Hexablow is a +6, is that 18k on my turn? And I was a bit scared of Impace here, because I'm like, well, if he Impaces, he can gain back 3 memory. So I think I'll just Mega Knight for some value. Obviously playing back the Gabu. It might be the Agu in this scenario. Yeah, it was Agu in this scenario because I can get back the piece I need. Because it's the benefit of the hard play ones. Obviously, I don't need Nokia on the board to do any of this, right? So I just play it for 8. And this is a play I love doing. Like, this might be my favourite play in the entire deck. Is I warp into the Nokia one because obviously you're just warping into a Greymon without paying the cost. I warp another one into the Nokia one. Then I finally warp the last one into a Nokia one. Gain back 2. And pop the lowest DP, which is obviously the only thing on the board, Hexablow. And now I'm sitting here with 4 things I can Mega Knight over, 4 things I can Ace over. And basically, I've put my opponent in an unwinnable position. Like, there is nothing I believe in the game that can clear this board. Even stuff that becomes unaffected, you can still block it. Like, you're not going to die. And you're sitting there with 4 level 6s, 1 level 7, 2 Mega Knights. If your opponent ever lets you go into anything, you just lose. So I'm just explaining Mega Knight to my opponent here. I don't think he's had much experience against it. Basically, if you try and interact with these, except by battle, I win the game because I just get to go into Omnimon, Ultra S, or anything else like that. So the opponent starts building now because he forgot to Evo in the back. So he's going to have to build on a raw stack here. I get the draw off the Galgamon here, and he gains 1. He's going to do Sun and Moon things, so he's just going to keep extending his turn, which is, the best thing to do, I think. Effectively, what he wants to do here is just not interact with the board at all. But I play multiple ace, which is going to be beneficial to me. He plays the Sire. Excuse me, he plays the Sire out here. I have been a little under the weather, but hopefully should get some more videos out to you soon. As we just talk to my opponent, do Sun and Moon Tamer things. Let's say Evo first and then go down, I believe. So yeah, hopefully we should get some more videos out soon. We'll have at least 2 more from this locals. I've got some One Piece coming for any of the One Piece fans. Should have a Seal series and maybe a couple of locals games. With some of the Learn to Play decks is what I'm planning on doing. And of course, more Digimon on the way soon. BT24 coming out in a couple of weeks now. And I know a lot of people are excited for that. Time Strain's a great game. Really enjoyed playing it. And as my opponent just like, I'm just going to Evo in the back now. He's a little annoyed that he forgot to do it last turn after joking about it the first turn. But yeah, it's just a really nice position to be in as Omnimon here. So basically, I know as long as 2 of these things live, I win the game on the next turn because I just clear my opponent's board. As he's just looking around, checking if he's got an out. I believe he dropped a card on the floor as well. He's just seeing if there's any out to this board. He's going for everything. Is there any like multiple stun lines, hexablow lines? Issue with all of them is you lose the Ultra S because it's immune. So even if it had less sources, it doesn't care and it'll pop the hexablow on the way up anyway. So I'm opponent just really checking, making sure there's nothing. He's like, what does it protect exactly? And I'm like, the 6s. So he decides to go into Invisi, which is probably one of the better outs because obviously he can get rid of the Agumon hit, the Wargrey. And then if it didn't have a source, he could pop an Agu. He's got a flip top screw and here's a Tamer last check. But yeah, my opponent's like, let's just play it out, obviously, for the camera. And I'm just going to go into Omnimon Ace, bottom deck the Invisimon here. This line would lose if I hit like Examon in security, but it's not good enough, and we do just take the game. So thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe, and should see you next time for our next video. Bye.